whoever you are, wherever you are, hope you are blessed and doing safe. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, family. Of course, I'm tuning in. You see me without the glasses off today, but if you're looking for some opportunities, particular advertisement opportunities, then look no further at the link at the bottom to my email address. You can hit me up for advertisement opportunities. We are supporting and promoting your businesses here on this channel. You can also, if you would like to donate and subscribe to our Patreon, a link is at the bottom as well. So you have multiple ways in which you can advertise with the platform by emailing me when we go on through our live stream. You also have access to premium content, those that want to see premium content that you will not find here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, as I am suspended probably by now. You guys can check out the Patreon at link at the bottom. But advertisement opportunities, definitely email me, gavin.grich1@gmail.com for rates. And for the Patreon, it is the same as the YouTube channel. It is channel gboot2786. All right, I'll holla. Peace.
I'm attorney Gavin Richard. I grew up here in New Orleans, so I know how important family, friends, and community are to us. And helping others has been a lifelong passion of mine. If you've been injured in an accident, you may be out of work and faced with large medical bills. You'll need someone to fight the insurance companies so that you can get on with your life. Give me a call at 504-799-2288, and I'll be with you all the way. The law offices of Gavin M. Richard, going the distance so that justice may be served.
Hi, I'm attorney Gavin M. Richard. Check out my latest book, The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., The Destruction of Due Process in America. For approximately 2 years now, I have gone on a painstaking quest to investigate the rise and fall of an American icon, Bill Cosby. In the mid-1980s, there was not a star that was higher than Cosby. Advertisements with Coca-Cola, Jell-O, Kodak, along with the #1 television show for 5 straight years in a row. On Thursday nights, it was must-see TV on NBC. Cosby resurrected the genre of the traditional family sitcom that was once thought dead by television critics. He did this as a Black American with an all-Black cast and showed mainstream network executives in white America that it was possible to be successful without showing the worst in people. He also demonstrated the power that television had, as it can make younger people dream to be the best that they can be. However, like many celebrity stars, unfortunately, they all come crashing down, sometimes by their own fault, others not so much. In this book, I attempted to highlight certain things. We go in depth into both of his trials in 2017 and 2018, respectively. What if I told you that these criminal trials were politically motivated by an overzealous district attorney? Will you also be shocked to learn the attacks on Mr. Cosby did not start in 2014, but also in the 90s, not long after his attempted quest to purchase a major network? From where did all of these allegations of sexual misconduct come from? Were the accusers telling the truth? In the 2 years of research, with some help from others interested in learning the truth and facts about this case, we discussed both the legal reasons why his prosecution and trial were illegal, unwarranted, and also the possible personal motives as to why this may have occurred. Most importantly, we warn about the dangers of prejudice and why a trial by social media, or mainstream media rather, should never be the norm. All this and more in The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., The Destruction of Due Process in America. Available on Amazon this fall in Kindle and paperback format. That is the Facebook page, ladies and gentlemen, for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby. That is the tag for the book right there on Facebook. You want to go there to easily find that page as at Commonwealth Cos, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to go ahead and get this party started. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you are blessed and doing safe. Welcome to another edition of Gavin Richard Presents here on channel GBoo2786 on Gavin Richard, our backup channel on YouTube as well as Facebook, and streaming on Twitter via Periscope at GavinRich2786. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you are blessed and doing safe. Of course, before we get into our topics, ladies and gentlemen, we want to pay some dues. We want you all to go to our Creole Seasoning Blend website and order you some Nonnies, CreoleBlends.com, NonniesCreoleBlends.com. Try it on chicken, meat, or fish. Nonnies goes great with every dish. And you can click on that shopping cart right there to order some good old Creole seasoning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the shout out, Darius in Atlanta. Oh, we got the man all the way from the West Coast, Black Voltron, from the Bay Area, from the Bay, as Jason would say, Black would say on his channel, from the Bay. We also got One Who Cares. How you doing, dear? We have B1 Beauty Supply. Hello, Danielle. Shout out to all of you tonight. Hope you're doing fine, ladies and gentlemen. So we want you to go there. Please click on that shopping cart. And, you know, Darius and a couple of other people have already ordered their seasoning, and they will tell you it is bomb burgers. It is great. Put it on burgers. Put it on chicken, meat, or fish. It always goes great with every dish. We also have, of course, because you know I'm in the music industry as well, some of my songs that are available. You can check out Spotify, Stream This Song, Video Soul. That is one of my songs, one of many. As you can see, the artist name right there is G Rich. And we also have Gotta Get On Up, of course. That is the theme song for the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Now, before we play the theme song, I usually do the topic first before I get into the advertisements, but I just digress. So, of course, we're going to be talking about our topics tonight, ladies and gentlemen, are as follows. We have Miami Priest, Father's Child, Must Speak to the Flock. New Orleans Saints head coach Sean Payton steps down after 15 seasons as the head coach of the New Orleans Saints. Jeezy and Jenny Mai have a newborn baby. There's a reason why I have a double question marks there. And Secrets of the Playboy Mansion debuts on A&E. But are they really secrets, ladies and gentlemen? So when we'll do this, we're going to come back. We're going to play our theme song because, of course, before we get on down, we like to get on up. Let's hit it.
Girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat, because on the dance floor is where we'll meet. Show me what you got. Gotta feel the groove.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. wind and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop or do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really grooving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the
Now, 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop, so if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll be.
feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up
And move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor.
Get on up, baby. Gotta get on, baby.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Gavin Richard Presents here, only on channel G Boot 2786. Wherever you are, wherever you are, I hope you're blessed and doing safe. Of course, we are live, and I'm coming at you with 5. Ladies and gentlemen, I love hearing that theme song, don't you? Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up. Shout out to my man Sizzle. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So what's going on tonight, family? How is everybody doing? I hope that everyone's doing safe and feeling blessed. I need you all to hit that like, smash, and subscribe button. I need you also to donate to that Cash App, Gavin Richard Esquire. Gavin Richard Esquire, ESQ, capital E, please. Now, I got a lot I got to say and talk about tonight. I hope everybody's doing good. We're moving forward. I got some news on that podcast that I have coming out, so I will let everybody know when the pilot episode for it will drop. We'll likely drop it on Spotify via Anchor, which is where one of my podcasts are. I have to start another season of that too. But this podcast that we have, we call it Unsolved Mysteries. So it's something I'm looking forward to. We've been in development on it. So that's coming along, and we're looking to have our first pilot episode drop soon. So I've been busy with that and just work in general. Yeah, I'm feeling much better because last time I was here, my nose was running. You know, I seriously, I'm gonna have to put a tampon up it because my nostrils was. Thank God I didn't. A stop plug or something. It was bad. It was bad. And usually it happens around this time with the allergies, the change in the weather. You know, my nose will start running. If my temperature I might have chills, and that's all from sinus infections and stuff. So that's how that starts. But at any rate, ladies and gentlemen, why don't we go ahead and yeah, the spices helped, and Kid Gravity walked in on tampon. Just rewind it. Just go back and rewind it a few seconds. You can do that on the live.
Uh, yeah, it was them spices. So y'all ready to get started? Let me get a like in the chat if you're ready to get started, ladies and gentlemen, or a black fist. Give me a black power fist in the chat if you're ready to get started. Okay. So we're going to start with this because I thought this was a Miami priest fathers a child, not father's child must speak to the flock. Now, now I'm Catholic myself, so I have this. This does not surprise me, though. It's usually the other way around, if you know what I mean. But a priest fathers a child out in the North Miami Parish, and a Catholic church has a message. The Archdiocese of Miami announced on Tuesday, this is courtesy of Yahoo News, that one of its priests fathered a child from a former relationship, but that he would remain in service of his parishioners. According to the Archdiocese of uh, Miami, it says here, a spokeswoman by the name of Mary Ross Augusta, Monsignor Chanel Ginty, pastor of St. James Catholic Church since 2015, learned in December that he fathered a child from a relationship with a woman that ended over a year ago. The information did not come from the mother of the child, but from another source. Monsignor Ginty appropriately reached out to the mother and plans to contribute to the support of his child, Augusta's release said. The Archdiocese did not name the source and said that Ginty would not be available for comment, which means he has to keep his mouth shut. He didn't even respond to the Miami Herald that was seeking a comment. On Tuesday, Ginty resigned his administrative roles of Vicar General and Chancellor for Canonical Affairs with the Archdiocese of Miami. But he still serves his pastor's role in ministry at St. James Augusta. So, St. James Catholic Church is a large congregation that was established in 1953 in North Miami. Now, I happen to look. Now, they're allowing him to keep his pastoral duties. They said that he has already sought God's forgiveness for what he did. He seeks forgiveness from his parishioners who will be disappointed, according to the Archdiocese release, when they learn of his lapse. Monsignor Ginty must face his parishioners and seek to regain their trust as he continues to serve and at the same time attends to his responsibilities to the child. Now, there has always been, Catholic priests, of course, are called to remain celibate as practicing priests. And apparently, he was celibate, all right. He was celibate a little bit of this and a little bit of that. No, he was not celibate. And he had a relationship with a child. Now, they go down here. Now, this is Father Alfredo Pute, who was a popular Roman Catholic priest in Miami, in the Miami Beach area, and he left the Archdiocese of New Orleans of Miami back in 2009 after photos surfaced of him kissing a woman on the beach who would later become his wife, Miami Herald reported. So he left the priesthood, became an Episcopalian priest, and married this woman. Now, it is not uncommon for people who get married, uh, for someone who is a priest or deacon, or I mean, deacons can be married, but deacons, of course, deacons have to be deacons have to be married, I believe, by the time they get into the deaconate. So no, he wasn't messing with boys. Well, they've been taking I mean, it's just like the Buddhist monks. Even they have taken a vow. Some monks take a vow of celibacy as a way to strengthen their spirituality. And for the last 9 centuries, we've had that in the Catholic Church. Although, I mean, we go back to the history of the Catholic Church. If you go back to the time of Saint Peter, I mean, they were married. They started out as Jews, Hebrews,
And he was the first pope. He was married. He had children, but things changed. But if you've taken a vow of celibacy, you know what it's about. You have to follow it. Just like as an attorney, we take vows, we take oaths, and we swear to uphold the Constitution and to the best of our ability and knowledge, overzealously represent our clients. We are called to do that. If we're not able to, then we have to go ahead and you can't take the oath. But yeah, it wasn't a boy, thank goodness. And here's the kicker. I clicked on it. I clicked on this, and apparently there was another. Now, what's interesting is that I'm looking here. It says Jeezy was listed as a witness in a criminal case against Father Jean-Claude Philippe, who was awaiting sentencing after he was convicted of raping, oh my goodness, a female parishioner in the church rectory. Now you read this, it says he was tapped to be a witness at his trial back in 2019. But what happened was that he was not called to testify at trial about Felipe's admissions, where he said he invited a woman to his home at the church, massaged her, but she came on to him. Damn. Now, I clicked on this article, and I'm trying to see if I can find it, but Monsignor Chanel Genti, ladies and gentlemen, is none other than, hold on. Had to be black. No. My guess is Haitian.
Right now, a Catholic church is in shock, rocked by a scandal after a priest fathered a child, and he's now asking for forgiveness. Local 10's Ian Margle is live in North Miami with reaction. Ian.
The priest apparently learned about that child in late December, and despite breaking his vow of celibacy, he will remain in the priesthood. He will remain a pastor here at St. James Catholic Church. A Catholic priest in North Miami finding himself on the other side of the confessional after breaking his oath of celibacy and fathering a child with a woman. The Archdiocese of Miami says Monsignor Chanel Genti, pastor of the St. James Catholic Church, had a relationship with a woman that ended more than a year ago. But in late December, Genti found out the woman had given birth to his child. In a statement, the Archdiocese said in part, quote, Monsignor Genti has asked God for forgiveness, and now Monsignor Genti asks his parishioners and Catholics of the Archdiocese of Miami to forgive him. Yes, a vow has been broken, forgiveness is asked, and Monsignor Genti can continue to minister to his parishioners. As for why Genti will be allowed to remain in the priesthood despite breaking his oath of celibacy, apparently the Vatican has two ground rules for making an exception. 1, you must father a child, and 2, you must openly acknowledge that child.
I know he's a good person, but I don't know his heart.
Canton Exalos has been a parishioner at St. James Catholic Church since 1995 and says while he's surprised to hear about what happened, he says he can definitely find forgiveness for Genti.
No, he's human. He's human.
So this was a consensual relationship, we're told, between an adult man and an adult woman. The priest, though, did not find out about the child from that woman. Apparently, he found out about it from another person. He has since reached out to her, though, and is going to be supporting that child as he continues to work as a pastor here at the church. Live in North Miami, I'm Ian Margle, Local 10 News.
Well, here's to your point. Well, let me address your point, though, there. Okay, Darius, and like Pastor Hot... Y'all nasty. Go to hell for that. Let me say this. This is my whole thinking about that. Why don't we just get rid of the vows of celibacy? The only problem with that is this is what's going to happen. You get rid of that, then you're going to see, well,
let's get rid of the ordinances on women being priests. And then the next thing is going to be, we want to see more LGBTQ ministries up in the Catholic Church. We want that recall. We want the Catholic Church teaching on abortion to be changed. When you give way to one thing, another thing follows. We want to change the Catholic Church teaching on contraception. That's really what it's about. But of course, he was just getting him some poontang. Hey, priests get horny too. We just had something out in Washington Parish a few months back. You had a priest. Now, this was the thing. A priest was in a church on the altar with two women doing some type of BDSM. This was out in Washington Parish. And yeah, Pearl River. And
by now, you've likely heard about the burning of an altar at a Pearl River.
This happened last year. This happened in Pearl River. They do have some already, but they want to actually change the teaching of it, which means it's going to be all out, just straight, flat out in the open. And it's not all priests, I should say, because there's some who adhere to the church teaching and so forth. Well, I'm not going to get in the Bible debate, Black Voltron, but if you read the Bible, and they do teach about, St. Paul talks about celibacy and fornication in his letters. Let's just be real. But there are people who don't follow it. We're human, male and female. They state that marriage sex is supposed to be between a man and a woman in the sanctity of marriage. How sacred the sanctity of marriage is. But, I know people have different interpretations of it, so I'm not going to get into that aspect. I'm just telling you what church teaching is. But, of course, people don't follow it because they're human. And, but to Danielle, this happened. He was with two dominatrices on the altar that they had to burn.
River Church. Investigator David Hammer brought you the story this week about Father Travis Clark and his sexual misconduct inside St. Peter and Paul Church in Pearl River. Today, Archbishop Gregory Amond hoped to move past the scandal. Duke Carter has more.
Archbishop Amond actually consecrated the new altar this afternoon at St. Peter and Paul Church here in Pearl River. Now, many parishioners who knew of Father Travis could not believe this actually happened. Now, briefly, the Archbishop consecrated the altar at this evening's Mass. He spoke about how shocked he was, like something like this happened inside the church. Now, according to documents, a passerby spotted Father Travis Clark half-naked having relations on the altar late September. The women, Melissa Chang and Mindy Dixon, were dressed in corsets and high-heeled boots. And in those documents, there were adult toys, stage lighting, and a mobile phone, as well as a separate camera recording it all. Now, parishioners who attended this evening's Mass, of course, was shocked by what happened, but says we all should be Christians and not judge others for their actions.
We'll continue to pray for him, for God's forgiveness, and that he will repent of his sins, and God will forgive him. And that he will strengthen us, God will strengthen us to continue to move forward, to strengthen our parish and our congregation.
Let me be clear, my sisters and brothers. There is no excuse for what took place here. It is sinful, and it is totally unacceptable.
Now, members with the Survivors Network of those abused by priests say this was another blow to the Catholic Church, and that now they're looking for transparency with Archbishop Amond and looking for his resignation as well.
As we find out more and more every day that the church is not being transparent with us, as we find out more and more priests
right in front of the
are
Lord
being put on their list.
Now, this arrest is part of the latest scandal to hit the Catholic Church. Recently, another North Shore priest, Reverend Pat Waddingley, told Amond earlier this month he sexually abused a minor in 2013. Of course, we'll have more tonight at 10. For now, reporting, Duke Carter, Eyewitness News.
So the Crew de Vue had to cut back their parade route this.
Whew. Let me just say this, that I ain't never seen, why a lot of the churches, like we have 3 schools, churches and schools are closing. We have 3 schools that are closing in New Orleans. And you know why a lot of these schools and churches are closing? It's part of the fact that the Catholic Church, the Archdiocese, they've had to pay many of these victims of sexual assault when they were minors, these child molestation victims. They have to pay them money. They have to pay their lawyers money. And in order to get that money, they have to sell off some of their properties. So we have had church properties, especially after Katrina, it accelerated, the closing of churches because the parishes were small. And it makes sense that they were smaller because at that time, nobody was coming back. They were talking about New Orleans not being rebuilt. It was going to take years for it to develop, although that was really the ploy to keep people out. I mean, look, right when Katrina happened, they closed all the projects. The projects didn't even have water in it. And they didn't even allow those people to go back and get their stuff. Now they charged that priest with vandalism, but that's going to be hard to do that, and obscenity, because he was in a place where he lawfully had the right to be, and someone, I don't know what the status of that case is, but someone was viewing in there went in there, saw that the church lights were on, and saw what they saw. They had to burn the altar. Ugh. I definitely wouldn't want any communion bread on that. No, that's just terrible. That's as Charles Barkley would say, that's terrible, terrible, terrible. I haven't done Charles Barkley in a long time for you knuckleheads, because I was in the middle of football season. But Charles Barkley, he was talking about that priest who allegedly got his freak on with them 2 dominatrix and their leather clad chaps. I like leather chaps too. I get my wife to get leather chaps all the damn time for me. But I figured him doing that in a church, he's just a knucklehead. And let's go, since we're talking about sports and balls, ladies and gentlemen, let us talk about this little news. Although I like to start with these late to end on a high note, but since you got Charles Barkley talking sports, let's talk about Sean Payton stepping down as head coach of the New Orleans Saints. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Charles Barkley is telling you that his favorite coach of all time, the great Sean Payton, who seriously was no knucklehead, is stepping down as the coach of New Orleans Saints after 15 seasons. According to the reports that are here on Yahoo News as well as ESPN, Sean Payton decided it was time to call it quits. According to this ESPN report, after 16 years of being with the franchise, Payton announced his decision on Tuesday to step away from the league, though he stressed multiple times that retirement is not the right word. Payton, who is 58 years old, maybe I should stop talking like Charles, huh? Payton, who's 58 years old, said he doesn't plan to coach another team in 2022, adding that that's not where my heart is right now. And since he has 3 years remaining on his contract, the Saints would have to agree to trade compensation if he wanted to coach another team. So he has 3 years left on his contract. And he was just coming off a 9-8 record where they saw their quarterback get injured. Drew Brees had retired. He had he had his team ravaged by COVID. They almost made the playoffs had San Francisco lost to the Los Angeles Rams, or at least the Saints win one of their last games when they lost to Miami, which did them no favors because their entire team was actually struck with COVID. So I don't want to play.
This guy is an incredible football coach. And when you think about offensive football and what he was able to do and the offenses he's been able to construct and the ability and the success he's had, it's remarkable. I mean, he has the relationship between he and Drew Brees and how special that run was for those guys winning a Super Bowl and the things that he was capable of doing. You see how he's developed other quarterbacks, other players. I mean, he's done it, man. I mean, he continues to do it. And it's been an impressive run for him. If he does decide to retire, man, tip of the cap to you, Sean. An incredible competitor. Loved playing against him. And here's the greatest part about him. He loves the game. Like when you're around him, his energy and his love of the game really is infectious. He's a fun dude, whether it's at the Pro Bowl, whether it's at, just to be around him to tell stories. He's absolutely phenomenal. Listen, I was on the competition committee for years and sat through millions.
Okay. So Payton had to say this at this press conference. Oh, hell no. Y'all try and grab Sean Payton. It's going to be civil war. You dirty birds need to know. The dirty birds need to know how to win, how to keep. Y'all need to learn how not to give up a 25-point lead, nigga. 28-3. You a clowning, I'm a clown with you. Yeah. Y'all gotta learn how to win. Y'all, oh, you know what? Get a Chinese coach. Win one soon. But Sean Payton was at this press conference. His press conference, he had this to say.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to be your head coach for 16 years. I appreciate each and every one of them. And so thank you for sticking with us in the good times and in the tough times. They've been outstanding. And so it's really that feeling of being grateful for having a chance to have been a part of this organization and coach for them. Thank you. Thank you.
So a lot of people were commenting on this. Michael Thomas said, Sean Payton is a legend. Don't ever forget that. Quan Alexander, who also plays linebacker for the Saints, said, Coach Sean Payton, appreciate you giving me another chance to ball. Legendary coach for sure. Wish you nothing but the best in the future. His daughter, Megan Payton, tweeted, the Who Dat Nation is the best fan base in the world. So thankful for 16 amazing years in NOLA, the city where arms are always open and food is always offered. Thank you for taking our family in. Who Dat? Yeah. If you look at Sean Payton's record, that's right. Sean Payton's last win was beating the Atlanta Falcons with Taysom Hill. If you look at Sean Payton's record as a coach, where he ranks, what he was able to do in 16 seasons with the New Orleans Saints, being that I am a Who Dat fan, and I don't know how we feel about the NFL, but I grew up out on the Saints as a kid. I went to the games and so forth. I remember the bag days. You had to wear the brown paper bags with how bad the Saints were. But Sean Payton was able to do something with the Saints that few coaches who came here did. We had Mike Ditka, I remember back in the mid-90s. That didn't work out. We had Jim Mora, who took the Saints to their first playoff win. Their first playoff game, but he was never able to win, a playoff game. Hazlitt was coach for a few years. He only had one winning season. Well, not one winning season, but one playoff appearance with one playoff win. And I remember Moore was the coach from 86 to 96, and he had the Dome Patrol. That's Super Bowl linebacking corps. And I call them Super Bowl because even though they didn't win a Super Bowl, they were arguably the best linebacking core in the NFL. They were the only team to have 4 linebackers go to the Pro Bowl in one season in 1992. We won our first division title in 91. So the Saints made the playoffs 4 times with teams marked with strong defenses, but were never able to win a playoff game, unfortunately. And from 2006 to 2021, Sean Payton comes in. After the Saints are 3-13, we had to play our home games at Tiger Stadium in 2005. Payton becomes the coach. And there were talks even of the Saints going to San Antonio. They come back home. The home opener I remember distinctly. I was actually at that game in 2006 when we beat the Atlanta Falcons. I was right in the end zone when Gleason blocked that kick. All right, Falcant. Okay, Falcant. So his record, if you look at it, we actually advanced to the playoffs. We had a first round bye. We were a 2nd seed. We played the the Philadelphia Eagles. We beat them. We advanced to the NFC Championship. We lost to the Bears. But then in 2009, we become Super Bowl champions. So this is his record as a coach: 152 wins, 89 losses, a record of 6, which gives him a 63% winning record. His postseason record is 9-8. He was 4th. The Saints were 4th in terms of winning percentage, behind only the Steelers, Patriots, and I believe, according to ESPN, with the article that they had, they said that it was only behind the Patriots, New England, and I want to say Kansas City, but I know that's wrong. Okay, so it's the Patriots, Packers, and Steelers. So I had it wrong. Patriots, Packers, Steelers, and then the Saints in terms of winning percentage since 2006. So they were 4th. So it's not pretty bad. So all I can say is thank you for the memories, Coach. Yeah, well, we don't fool with Falcons. There. Coach had a great run. I mean, look, I can't argue with this. I can't argue with that record, 15 seasons. Although he left a lot to be desired, he very well could have gone to actually his 2nd Super Bowl had it not been for the blown call in 2018. And that just tells me, and I said this earlier when I was watching the playoff games because I saw how it was going back and forth. Doesn't it seem, now this is me, that the NFL is scripted in some way? Atlanta, I'm sorry, not Atlanta, but I was going to say Tampa last year, you had a situation I'll never forget when Tampa plays Green Bay. Green Bay has the ball in their red zone in Tampa's territory. And Matt LaFleur, instead of putting the ball in the hands of Aaron Rodgers, he sends the kicker out to kick a field goal. Now, that wasn't the main thing. I just thought about that. And then Tampa plays the Super Bowl in their home stadium. First team in NFL history to do that. Then before that, way before that, let's go to Seattle. Seattle is playing against New England. They're driving down the field. And Pete Carroll decides to do the unthinkable and instead of running the ball on 2nd down with time on the clock, enough time to seal a touchdown for the win. he decides to throw the ball. I ain't never seen anything like that.
Now the first part of our exclusive interview with Seattle Seahawks head coach Pete Carroll. Many fans believe that
the Saints won 3. Well, no, it wasn't after. It wasn't just after Katrina. It was 3 years after Katrina.
To talk to the coach about that play.
It was 4 years. Let's be real. That 2006 season, we came back 10-6. We lost to the Bears. Then in 2009 was the Super Bowl. We won. 2009, 2000, the 2009 season. And we had all-stars on that team. Yeah, when the Patriots won after not like now, when the Patriots won in 2001, that was actually that year. They won the 2001-2002 season. They won the Super Bowl that season. That was when 9/11 happened. I remember the Oakland Raiders playing Tampa Bay, and yeah, Oakland Raiders were playing Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl. John Gruden is facing his old team. There was a brother who played for the Buccaneers who actually did a radio interview. I'm gonna see if I can play that right quick.
With it all.
So watch Steve Carroll.
About what it's been like to be Pete Carroll over these last 3 days.
Well, it's been a whirlwind. There's been a lot going on. I feel responsible for a lot of people right now.
I can't play I don't want to play the clip because I might get a copyright strike. But y'all know that. Y'all remember that play, Black Voltron. I know you remember that. But he says himself it's the worst call ever. But watch this. This is what Dwight Smith said.
Jackson here. Today I'm showing a clip of Dwight Smith. That's a former NFL player. Super Bowl champion, 2 pick sixes, Super Bowl 37. That's the Bucs' first Super Bowl. He goes on the air, and the radio hosts are asking him who he thinks is going to win the game and all this other nonsense as champion, saying the Super Bowl is champion. Basically saying my Super Bowl champion, 2 pick sixes, Super Bowl 37. That's the Bucs' first Super Bowl. He goes on the air, and the radio hosts are asking him who he thinks is going to win the game and all this other nonsense as if the NFL is real. Dwight Smith just tells them, basically saying my position on how the NFL operates. This is an NFL player. This isn't just some random guy. Asking him who he thinks is going to win the game and all this other nonsense as if the NFL is real.
They're on the 1 yard line.
Dwight Smith just tells them, basically saying my position on how the NFL operates. This is an NFL player. This isn't just some random guy. This is a former NFL player, Super Bowl champion, saying the Super Bowl is not determined on the field. Credit to Brian Toohey. He posted this clip on his blog. I haven't seen this clip on YouTube, so I'm posting it on YouTube. So don't get after me saying I stole this clip from Brian Toohey. I'm posting it on YouTube because he doesn't have a YouTube channel. So let's roll the clip and see what this Dwight Smith has to say about Super Bowl.
So it's supposed to be a neutral field, but just tell me, as a former Buccaneer, how surreal is this for the Bucs to be in the Super Bowl in Tampa at Raymond James Stadium?
That's a good question, man. I would like to ask some Tampa fans that question because I really don't know.
Well, I mean, this is something that no one's ever seen before. I mean, you're hosting the Super Bowl. The Bucs are in it. It's Brady versus Mahomes. I mean,
something I predicted at the beginning of the year. I said if the NFL wanted to have the home team in the Super Bowl, this would be the perfect year. Pandemic, people can't travel, so it's not a shock to me.
How big of an advantage do you think it will be for the Buccaneers not having to travel anywhere? Because obviously, when you were in the Super Bowl,
that's not no advantage. I don't have no advantage.
No advantage? Okay.
No.
All right, so
that's like saying they have advantage at every home game during the year. So I mean, it ain't like they won every home game, so it ain't much of an advantage.
So tell me, obviously you're a defensive guy. What would the game plan that you would engage against this Kansas City high-flying offense led by the great Patrick Mahomes? I mean, how would you guys try and stop Tyreek Hill? Let's say this was back in the day. It's a Monty Kiffin-led defense. How do you think you guys would defend cats like Tyreek Hill? And, of course, that fine tight end of theirs, 87, Mr. Kelsey's pretty dangerous, too.
Well, we played cover 2, so it ain't much you would change. You always got somebody over the top. Our key was we had defensive line pressure, man. If you ever noticed in the NFL, the teams who win is who get the most pressure on the other team's quarterback.
Well, without question, and you guys were able to do it back in the day, and the Buccaneers might be able to do it against the Chiefs' offensive line right now that's really in shambles. They're banged up, they're decimated by injury, and you might be able to rush 4 and drop 7 and take your chances that way. Is that how you would do it, Dwight?
I mean, y'all know all the X's and O's, man. I'm just sitting at home watching. I don't like to get into that because I don't believe the game is really decided on the field. So, I don't get into all the X's and O's and talking, man. Like I said, I played in the game. I set a Super Bowl record, and we knew every play they was running before the game started. So, hey, who am I to say?
Well, tell us about that week leading up to the Super Bowl, because that was the big thing. Bill Callahan was the Raiders coach at the time. Obviously, John Gruden had just come over. Tell us about that week of preparation leading up to the game and how it was executed by you guys. I mean, you could know which plays are coming. And
Tim Brown and Jerry Rice come out and say that they made them run Jerry Rice. John Gruden's offense.
Yes. Yep. It was his offense, and you guys knew exactly what was coming. Did you know every single play?
They didn't run that offense all year, though. Ain't it odd that you would run it when you're playing against us?
So did you guys know every play before the ball was snapped?
I'm just saying, man, the game ain't decided on the field. That's all I'm going to say. Like I said, I predicted who's going to be in the Super Bowl. It ain't about who has the best players. Football is entertainment. So what's the most entertaining Super Bowl? The Bucs in their first one against Patrick Mahomes. Has nothing to do with if these are the best teams, because we know that these aren't the best teams. The Bucs are not the best NFC team.
So who's the best team in the NFC, in your opinion?
The Green Bay Packers.
But the Bucs beat them at Lambeau, though. I mean, the Bucs proved it. They went there. They beat Aaron Rodgers at his place.
You can say what you want, man. Like I say, the game ain't decided on the field.
But the Bucs beat Green Bay like 38-10 at Raymond James Stadium in the regular season.
You're not listening to me, man. You keep saying
so how is it decided then if it's not on the field?
The Giants won the Super Bowl in 2007. I had 2 pick sixes. One I took back 93 yards, another pick up there in New York. We beat a 40-something. We didn't have Adrian Peterson. They went on to win a Super Bowl. Like, you talk about who beat what and how? Like, come on, man. Stop that.
All right, so how do you see this one playing out on Sunday?
It depends on when Vegas make that call. How Vegas ain't going to lose the most money.
So do you think the Bucs' original Super Bowl that you were a part of and won was illegitimate?
I think everyone is.
If you don't mind me asking then, and we obviously appreciate giving us a little bit of time, why do an interview for the Super Bowl if you don't believe that it's set up the right way?
Y'all ask me to. Don't nobody call me no other time until Super Bowl come, right?
Yeah, no, that's true.
Did anybody when we got on the phone say, "Hey, how's your family doing? How your kids doing?" No, none of that matters. So I'm gonna give you my honest opinion.
And I appreciate that. We do.
We do.
I mean, that is our job though, is to talk sports. I mean, it's not personal.
So what is your honest
job to be real?
We understand that. So what is your honest opinion of Tom Brady being in 10 Super Bowls?
Good luck. A lot of luck,
Okay.
Because, everybody say Tom Brady, but if I can remember, there's a lot of kickers kicking kicks for him to make it there.
Well, Tom Brady did put him in a position to make those
So did
kicks.
So did Jim Kelly, but his kicker missed a kick.
He did miss a kick.
Right, he did.
He did miss a kick. He
Whoa,
also lost 4 Super Bowls in a row.
But it's Jim Kelly's fault, man. Whoa, boy, man. We break stuff down like it's so small. Like, this is the only reason that it happened. Like, come on, man.
So the reason you guys won the Super Bowl wasn't because of your outstanding defense. It was because that's the way it was predetermined. That's what you're
Well, I mean, if our defense was so outstanding, why we couldn't beat the Saints that year? Saints beat us twice. So why did the Oakland Raiders say, we're going to go in with the Saints game plan? Because they had Juice McCall, they ran the ball down our throat. Why didn't they come in and say, we're going to do the same thing?
All right.
Yeah, man. So he was saying that, and I was just thinking about it because, he went wet stitching. Exactly. I think more and more of that, especially after I remember like I said, the Nola no call. And yeah, they did miss the face mask against Jared Goff in the Superdome on that day before that. But this was so blatant. This call right here was just so overtly blatant. Everybody saw it.
It wasn't even pass interference. It wasn't just pass interference. It was helmet to helmet.
Quick snap. Breeze. Pass is incomplete.
Now watch the official looking at it.
For Tommy Lee Lewis. Nikhil Roby-Coleman delivered a hit. And the two officials talked to each other.
Helmet to helmet.
Crazy as there's no flag right on the Saints sideline.
Well, if Nikhil Roby-Coleman plays the ball, it's an interception. It's probably going the other way with it. I mean, the ball's on the other side of Roby-Coleman, but that should have been a penalty. And John Payton is justifiably upset.
Mike Pereira, if that was a penalty, that would have in essence ended the game. Did you think it was a penalty?
Yeah, I really do. I know it's easy in slow motion. They're close to bang, bang, but that was early enough. Even high contact on the
receive. Clearly contact before the ball got there.
Yeah, he had, I mean, all he was doing.
Now that's helmet to helmet.
Down Lewis and
that's face guarding, although they don't call it face guarding anymore. That was pass interference. That was pass interference. And the NFL is talking about how they want to take care of players, make sure they are doing everything to prevent CTE and concussions. Bullshit. They had an opportunity to do it. I fixed it. They didn't change the outcome of the game. And, look what they're doing in Los Angeles. Do you know someone? I'm a shout out to my friend, Dominic Page, but TMZ was reporting this, and he put this up here about the Super Bowl, because the Super Bowl is in Los Angeles now. And on that area, that new stadium, but they're saying, and it's the NFL homeless cleanup near Sophie Stadium. So that new beautiful stadium that they got in Los Angeles that they couldn't fill up because the Rams had no fans. And I think that was another reason why they didn't call it. They don't want the visitors and viewers getting an up-close look at the city's homeless problem, which is why a major cleanup is underway near the site of the big game. So these pics were taken Monday morning near the 405 freeway, which significantly is just a couple of miles from Sophie Stadium. As you can see, CHP officers are on hand to reroute traffic and clear out homeless encampments as private contractors clean up behind them. So they started moving the homeless bright and early Monday from this area near the 405 and Century Boulevard. And they say it looks like it's smack in the middle of the most direct route from LAX to Sophie Stadium, which would make sense. And they say the homeless problem in Los Angeles is so bad, that the company Planet Green is helping with the cleanup. What does Maxine Waters have to say about that? What does your local councilman say about this stuff? Not a damn thing. But there's football. All right, ladies and gentlemen, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button if it's your first time on this channel. So we're gonna move on. Let's talk about this. Jeezy and Jenny Mai are having a newborn baby, ? Now, there was I remember that game too. Because they had a referee who admitted that they were that he called that on purpose to stage. And I remember that game. I remember the Lakers, and I was a Lakers fan, but I was noticing that they were getting some favorable calls. So Jenny Mai and young Jeezy have a baby. Now, according to All Hip Hop, as well as Black Online. There's have stayed mum on word. So they just had their first child together, although Jeezy, I believe, has other children. And, you know, my man, shout out to my boy, Dennis Sperling, fellow attorney and YouTuber. He made this post about young Jeezy on his Facebook page, and I agreed with him. He said that young Jeezy has been pushing poison. Excuse me, give me a second, guys. So he says, Jeezy told black children to trap or die. I'm talking about selling dope. He's a drug dealer that sold death to his own people. All of these black drug dealers are sellouts and agents of white supremacy. They destroyed the black community in the 1970 through 1990s with the help of the government, which never wanted us around in the first place. So you shouldn't be surprised. He's trying to go mainstream and get as much money as possible. The quickest way for mainstream validation is accept and promote the alphabet agenda. Now, Jeezy, he's got to have other children. I'm sorry, I know that may be a stereotype, but hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. Yes. Yeah, I know he's got other kids. Yeah, he does. And they have not, and yes, they don't have to show pictures of their kids. That's right, because Jeezy is older than this woman. Jenny Mai is, well, she's only like 2 years younger than him. But this is her first child, right? This is her first child. Now, what will that's a good point. What are his siblings going to think of their half brother? Or they may call him their brother or sister, not identifying as brother and sister. I'm going to call it it's a whatchamacallit. What have we, whatchamacallit, a candy bar. And I'm sorry if people find this to be harsh, but it is what it is. Because at this point, where are we going as a society where we say we're a genderless society, we're a neutral society? This person may not want to conform to that. And look, I respect people have a right, if you want to say this, yeah, they have a right to believe what they want to believe. People are going to do what they want to do, but there's also something called common sense. There's something called common sense at the end of the day. If you're born if you got a penis, you are biologically a male. If you have a vagina, you are biologically a female. You cannot change what your genetic structure looks like. That's set by God. That's set in nature. Your DNA is what it is. You can get all the cosmetic surgery you want. You can get all the implants you want. Do whatever, butt lift, you raise your cheeks, whatever. Your genetic DNA sets to what this is. Of course, she has the leverage in a relationship, and he's trying to be mainstream and make money because he's not selling records like talking about it anymore. You know, I remember when Akon and Young Jeezy all up in the heat. Yeah, I remember that. Soul provider, soul survivor. Yeah, I remember all of that. I remember when he came out with this stuff. But you raising your baby to be genderless. And to what our brother Dennis Sperling is saying, he's absolutely correct that these rappers were nothing but white. These rappers were basically white supremacists in blackface. I'm going to add that too. They sold drugs. They pushed drugs in the community. To get out, they decided to do hip hop, but then they pushed poison in. And now, in order to get more money, you want to raise your child genderless.
she's pushing that. You can tell who's running stuff here. You see why you don't worship celebrities. I don't. Now, I'm going to keep my comments respectful because I don't want to get a flag. Because, I mean, they will flag you if you say you don't agree with this stuff on YouTube. I mean, my goodness, if you have, I'm not even saying anything what I believe to be hateful, but someone will comment on it. Someone may not like it. They'll report it to YouTube. And because YouTube is so quick with the block button, they'll go ahead and do that. They'll scrub your channels. Y'all know they scrub. I got people who have been scrubbed from this channel when I go live. People that don't get their notifications, even though they've hit their notifications several times. You got to hit that notification bell, ladies and gentlemen. Right, exactly, and that's my point. That's essentially what I'm getting at. These are kids. This is a baby. This is not even a child. This is an infant. The baby doesn't even know it exists. It doesn't even know who his father or mother. I have no idea. He has got to be. His records are not selling like they should if he's pushing this. So it says that Jenny Mai was upset about the gender fluid post made about her and Jeezy's baby. Now this was 10 hours ago. So I'm gonna report and read what that says. Let's read off of this. Now she backtracked according to this when this post went viral. So this was the post that went viral. Lonnie Love, you know what she had to say about black men. Put this on her IG. Now, of course, Lonnie Love is her co-host. Now it says Jenny will reveal Monica's birthday gender on Wednesday. Now, this article by Sandra Rose is saying that the child will be genderless. Now they said neither Jenny Mai or Jeezy officially share the gender of the newborn child. Every couple, however, showed off their little one's nursery, which made many an impression that they welcomed the baby boy last month. Lonnie Love brought attention to Sandra Rose's article on Tuesday. So they're saying she's going to reveal the gender on Wednesday. And Jenny Mai reportedly wrote, if doing the most was a post. What this was that they were going to face. Some people even said that. Well, she's saying she's going to reveal the gender on Wednesday. Okay. Well, I'm just reading this, but I saw the post that Brother Dennis had, and that's what I was going off of. But if she's recanted that, or if that is not true, then I apologize for that. But, you know, I stand by, in talking about the general idea of a genderless society, that you should not have a society where we dictate what gender is. That is arguably the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I'm just talking in general. So I'm not going to talk about what Jeezy and Jenny Mai, but you know, but what we are doing as a society, that's what I want to focus on, because this is not a good look. This is not good for future generations
who are looking to the adults. Remember, children are born and they learn how to do things from their parents, from the adults. They don't know better. A parent is supposed to know better. A parent's job is to lead, is to teach their child, you know, what you are and what you're supposed to be in the world, how to be a man and how to be a woman, respectively. Well, I can't say that, Black Voltron, because you say that, I'm gonna lose my channel. Yeah, your chromosomes are XX, your chromosomes are XY, but yeah. But that's another thing, how dangerous we've become as a society where we can't value difference in throttling green. But what say you all? Society is dumb, demonized, and demoralized. Exactly. This society is officially stupid. You remember, if you watch the film Don't Look Up, if you watch even another movie before Don't Look Up, it was called Idiocracy. It tells you about the fate of mankind and society and how we put petty things, meaningless things, above real life issues. And that if we don't change our ways, that's the moral of the story. We don't change our ways, then all humanity is doomed. All society as we know it will cease to exist. So it is up to the alpha male. It is up to you all, the alpha male and the strong females who love their men, who stand behind their men, to push back against nonsense and to use common sense. So, yeah. But we'll see what happens tomorrow. Okay, I don't really watch the reel, but I'm sure somebody will tweet it. But if that's the case, if that's true, that she's gonna reveal it, the gender, fine. But I was looking at it, and it didn't look like it. So someone says YouTube is messing with the live stream. Okay, not a surprise. With the live stream. Okay. Not a surprise. All right. So let's get into our final topic because I'm about to wrap it up in a little bit. Our last topic is secrets of the Playboy Mansion. Now, this debuted, Are They Really Secrets? Now, I don't know if you guys have been following us. You've probably heard, but A&E released has released a docu-series on the times of these Playboy bunnies at the Playboy Mansion. And I started to watch bits and pieces of it. I have some clips that are here that I'm going to play in particular from Annie. Now, I'm not going to try and play the whole clip because I don't want to get a copyright strike, but you know, sorry about that. I got kicked out. I kicked myself out by mistake. But I want y'all to look at this, okay? So I don't know if anybody has seen this, but this is Secrets of the Playboy Mansion that's on A&E. It debuted last night. And these women are talking about their time with Hugh Hefner, talking about the use of drugs, like this woman, Sandra Theodore. So they're really throwing Hugh Hefner.
I wouldn't say, yeah, he's being thrown under the bus, but here's the thing. They did not come out with this stuff on Hugh Hefner when he was alive. They waited till after he died to do this. So they were still, but still, we're going to talk about this man. Now, I want you to pay attention though, because I'm going to show different clips. Look at the timeline. Look at the name and look at the timeline that they were Hefner's girlfriend. Okay? So I don't want to know if I'll get this copyright strike if I play this video, but they talk about Quaaludes.
Everything felt good to touch. Everything felt soft and soft focus, and it was lovely. Usually you just took a half. Now, if you took two, you'd pass out. It was such a seduction, and the men knew this, that they could get girls to do just about anything they wanted if they gave them a Quaalude. Before I met Hef, I had never done a drug in my life, and I was just a young, naive girl that didn't know the ways of the world.
I worked for Hefner at the Playboy Mansion in LA from late 1977 to mid 1989 as Hef's secretary and then eventually executive assistant. Quaaludes were, we called them the leg spreaders, you know, I mean, and I don't know that I want to get that crude, but that is what the whole point of them was, you know. They were a necessary evil, if you will, to the partying. We would have prescriptions in some of our names. There were prescriptions in Sandra's name, and Hef's name, and my name. There was a prescription in Mary's name. We kept a desk calendar that just would say, you know, Lisa's Q, or Hef's Q, or Sandra's Q. That enabled certainly 4 and sometimes 5 different prescriptions for the same medication to feed the machine.
Okay. Now, did y'all notice what this woman says? What her job was? So this is, she was an executive assistant at Playboy. All right. And I didn't see in the clip if she was actually a participant in any sex or anything, but given that it was Hugh Hefner, I'm pretty sure something was going down. Allegedly. 1977 to 1989. So 12 years. She worked as his executive assistant, Lisa Loving Barrett. And this woman, Sandra Theodore, got her with her eyes closed. She was his girlfriend and playmate from 1976 to 1981. All right? So there's another thing I want to show. Hold on, I'm trying to find it. I didn't see this one.
I was Miss January 1973. My photos were gorgeous. And then I became director of Playmate Promotions. At that point in time, I wasn't interested in marriage, but I was interested in Playboy Enterprises because women were taking their power. They were in command of themselves. So I thought, well, wow, that's
as long as they
good to
gave it up.
me. And it went along with the sexual revolution that was going on. I had a lot of power, a lot of freedom. It was freedom, you know?
My bunny name was Bunny Jackie, and I started working at Playboy in 1967 for 11 and a half years. We definitely got paid well, and I bought a car, and I lived the way I wanted.
Fair use.
We had more freedom than as a secretary or as a teacher.
It's 1981. I'm in Chicago.
Now wait, hold on. Whoa. I didn't know she was come up. That woman, this woman, PJ Maston. Okay. As y'all know, Darius, I'm glad you brought up Cosby. I didn't even know this woman was in this document series. I haven't watched it, like I said. but I'm glad we've come up on her. This woman is the woman that accused Bill Cosby of rape in Chicago. And she is also the same woman back in the 1990s that sued Marv Albert. She testified against Marv Albert. Remember when Marv Albert was accused of sodomizing and raping a woman? Well, I'm going to tell you what it is, though, computer robots. Hugh Hefner, I'm going to get to that in a second. Hugh Hefner did help in the civil rights movement. He was actually a free expression activist. And my understanding, I mean, he was not just fucking around with women; he was fucking men too. From what I've heard, he was into all of that. He was a freak. Not my cup of tea. But yes, he did do things in the civil rights movement. He did, for instance, a lot of people don't know this about Hefner, about Hef, but you know, Dick Gregory talked about the fact that when the 3 civil rights workers were missing, he wanted to go, meaning Dick wanted to go down and help. And Hefner offered to put up money for a bond to find the 3 civil rights workers. Dick even flew out to Mississippi, and the sheriff of that town, that little hick town, wanted to meet Dick Gregory and talk about the case. And right there, Dick Gregory's spider senses went off and figured out the police actually did the crime. Because a guilty mind talks. But she testified, this PJ Maston woman, now read this. A woman who said that Friday that Bill Cosby drugged her and sexually assaulted her in 1979, also accused another famous man of attempted sexual assault, sportscaster Marv Albert, who had pled guilty to assault and battery the day after her surprise testimony against him. She said she woke up naked in bed, naked and bruised in bed with Cosby after he gave her an alcoholic drink, and that she believed she was raped. Cosby's Martin Singer didn't return calls and emails, but Singer denied some of the allegations, while another attorney has called others discredited. But Maston was a surprise witness against Albert in 1997 at his trial, testifying that he oral sex in a Dallas hotel while he was wearing women's panties. She claims she escaped by pulling off her toupee. Now, she said she knew Cosby from working at the Playboy clubs in Jersey, Los Angeles, and Chicago. She was instructed not to tell anyone about the assault, claiming that Bill Cosby was Hugh Hefner's best friend. But she decided this week to come forward with her allegations after a woman sued Cosby, alleging that he forced her to perform a sex act at the Playboy Mansion when she was 15. This is that woman who's suing, I think is Judith Huff, if I'm not mistaken, that's suing Bill Cosby, claiming she was assaulted when she was 15 years old. Now, about that trial with Albert, he maintained after the trial that Maston's accusations were a complete fabrication. He said in a November 1997 interview with Barbara Walters on ABC's 2020 that he had a hairstylist ready to testify that he was wearing a weave that would not come off. Maston claimed that she escaped by pulling off Albert's toupee. From downtown! Whoo! What the foul? That's another thing. Marv Albert is a known freak, and he gets his job back. Yeah, that's the woman she's claiming he bit. I was wearing panties, and I thought her stomach looked like a pizza. Oh, what the foul? But this is the woman that sued Marv Albert, so now she goes at Cosby, and she was a bunny mother.
Mother, I had 70 bunnies underneath me. We did a lot of things to help rise these girls up. And it was exciting to me because I knew that I could move up the ladder in corporate.
There were often times when I would be interviewed by a strong feminist, and she would come at me really hard. And I would just, yeah, and I would answer and let them know that I was definitely in charge of my life, and this was my choice. Now, of course, it came at a cost, but at that moment in time, I didn't know about that.
Secrets of Playboy premieres Monday, January 24th at 9, only on A&E.
So
The reason I think the mansion was very cult-like, looking back on it, is because
now this
we were all
woman,
kind
hold
of
on.
gaslit and expected.
Holly Madsen was Hugh Hefner's girlfriend. It doesn't say it here, but she was his girlfriend from 2001 to 2008. I'll never forget, Holly had a TV show. Now she's 42 years old. When she met Hugh Hefner, she was 22, young. She starred in TV shows on E! She had her own E! show called The Girl Next Door, Holly's World. Back in 2009, she had a TV show. She had The Girls Next Door, which was about all of the girlfriends that lived with Hugh Hefner. That show ran from August 7, 2005 until August 8, 2010. And now they decided to come out with a hit piece on Hugh Hefner. Well, that's the question, Black Voltron, because I'm hearing even that, I mean, look, they had, I'll never forget, Sinbad was on the Breakfast Club and called BS on that because he was like, he's been to the Playboy Mansion, and Hefner was very adamant about the security being tight, especially making sure that the right people were in the Playboy Mansion. But the Playboy Mansion was what I expected. It was Sodom and Gomorrah Jr.
To think of Hef as like this really good guy, and you started to feel like, oh, he's not what they say in the media. He's just a nice man. Another thing that reminds me of a cult is how it was so easy to get isolated from the outside world there. You had a 9 o'clock curfew. You were encouraged to not have friends over. You weren't really allowed to leave unless it was like a family holiday.
Are there rules? Like, can you have boyfriends at all? You're not allowed to have boyfriends. How do you know when you're called to the master bedroom? Do you have nights?
Yeah. The sex always happened kind of like the same time, the same night. We would go out to a club every Wednesday and Friday, and that would be expected when we got home. I kept my waitressing job at just like one day a week because I wanted just to have something easy to go back to should things not work out. And he said it made him jealous and he would appreciate it if I quit my job. So instead, we were given $1,000 a week as an allowance.
Secrets of Playboy premieres Monday, January 24th at 9, only on A&E.
Okay. This woman, Hugh Hefner died in 2017. Okay, so he's been dead for at least 4 years. At least. And now these women are coming out. They hung around a 91-year-old man who did nothing but spent all of his days in the bathrobe. I guess when you got money like that, you can. He was basically, he was Charlie Sheen before Charlie Sheen, but rich, wealthier. In my understanding, Hugh Hefner actually was not, he was very supportive of the civil rights movement, but he, like I told you all before, but he supported Barack Obama's campaign. I don't know about bragging on that. He raised and donated money to the Democratic Party. I know some women didn't like him, some of the feminists didn't, but I know that my understanding was that he was supposed to stay that Playboy Mansion, as Harvey has pointed out, shout out to Harvey, he does not own, the family doesn't own that. The family, I don't even think, runs Playboy Enterprises anymore. Playboy actually, as you can even see there, they have lost more money. They're bleeding money. And that's because, in part, when it comes to pornography and so forth, it's very readily available on the internet. People can go access it immediately. So there's not making a lot of money from it. And I think another thing too, I remember Playboy had the first man on the cover, homosexual male on it. And they actually had to, there were people who turned that down. Didn't want to look at that. But even his daughter was a CEO of Playboy Enterprises from 1988 until 2009. But yeah, the Playboy Mansion now look, Playboy, now look at this. I'm just looking at that. Playboy Mansion distanced itself from Hugh Hefner as Buddy described cultures of drugging and sexual abuse. So it's distant itself. The company is distancing itself from the man who made Playboy a household name. So this is when it comes to the finances. So when Hefner died, so here it is. According to Playboy's Enterprises SEC filings, Hefner paid Playboy rent for that portion of the Playboy Mansion used exclusively for him and his personal guests, residents, as well as the per unit value of non-business meals, beverages, and other benefits received by him and his personal guests. This amount was $1.3 million in 2002, $1.4 in 2003, and $1.3 million in 2004. Playboy paid for the mansion's operating expenses. So Hefner was paying Playboy rent. Now, that means, bear in mind, guys, when you create a company, it becomes its own juridical person. The turkey is all good until the gravy train runs out. Absolutely. I don't see how you can distance yourself from Hugh Hefner. That's like trying to distance boxing from Muhammad Ali. No, you couldn't do that. Yeah, they had no problem with staying with Hefner until the money ran out. They were all good and dandy. And, I saw some people commenting on it saying, why did the women stay? These were not young and naive. Oh, shut up. No, they weren't naive. They wanted money. The woman even said that. They were desperate. She said, this PJ Madsen woman even said, go back and look at the video. I want to work my way up the ladder, working as the bunny master. From what I understand, Judge Joe Brown was talking about the Playboy Mansion. Y'all know Judge. I've been invited. You walked in and there were a bunch of these groupies with their tops and blouses off trying to get laid. And then 40 years later, they want to complain about it, and they kept going back over and over again. They sucked, they dried, they laid it on the side. They did lines of coke. They took quaaludes. I had to bust out plenty of female prostitutes because they had a fondness for quaaludes. They kept my lights on. Thank goodness. They paid my secretary's rent by doing this stuff. He gave them pills. He didn't force it down their throat. This was the sexual revolution. You heard of sex, drugs, rock and roll? I saw these groupies. They rolled on old Judge. I said, you mean to tell me, let me get you under my robe, sweetheart, and show you how I bang my gavel. No, he didn't say that. If Judge is watching, I know you didn't say that, Judge. Judge was dating some bangers too. I didn't know he said he was dating Frida Payne. Frida Payne from Bring the Boys Home. Bring the boys home. Now Frida Payne actually, she's not a bad looking woman. Now her husband, former husband, is the Shake You Down guy. Girl, I've been watching you. Some too foreign for a while now, baby. And that's nothing new. For many times down, baby. What can I do? And honey, I'm not shy. I just look at you so many times before now, baby. You in my mind. Girl, I wanna say, girl, come on, let me take harmonica. I know I couldn't sing it right. I didn't know the lyrics. I knew the melody. I can't stop thinking about the way I feel. Can't stop thinking about the way I feel. Yeah. You in my mind, girl, I wanna shake you down. Well, I'll give you all you need. Girl, come on, let me take. I'm a fool. Go ahead, Counselor Richard. That's how I sung it with Frida. Yeah, I know. Gregory Abbott, that little punk, he stole her from me and stole that song. I would have been the hip hop judge, the R&B judge. My R&B name would be called The Gavels. I had a band like that in 1940. In 1962, we sung doo-wop out on the streets of Memphis, right in front of the barbecue stand. Come on, let me take. Oh, shut up, Gregory Abbott. You took my damn song and my woman from me. I want to bang your head with this damn gavel. Or send that thug I cursed out on my show. I ought to send him after you.
you have no judiciary problem. Yeah, but what y'all? I'm getting off topic, y'all. But what y'all think about this Hugh Hefner thing? But ugh, they all complaining about these old hags. I'm gonna watch the documentary. But this was some B. I couldn't believe what I saw. They talking about Hugh Hefner. They talking about Hugh Hefner, and this man is dead. I'm surprised they don't have a documentary on Will Chamberlain. Huh, how about this? If they got, they're gonna. I'm surprised nobody came out on Sidney Poitier. Yes, indeed, Danielle. That old school music is like no other. But what say you all with these allegations against Hugh Hefner? Do you think they hold weight? Now, I'm not even looking at this, but Kendra Wilkinson, I think she was dated. She was a playmate, and is she talking about?
I've done my, and I'm like, God bless you, God bless. Like, I don't really know what to say or do. I mean, I know that you told the story about Hef that asked you to be girlfriend by just seeing your picture. I mean, can you kind of tell me that story again and kind of relive that? Yeah, no, he just, by chance found a picture of me and was like, who's this girl? And and I get a call and, would you like to move into the mansion? And I'm like, I don't know what that means, but sure, I'm out. I'm in. I'm out of here in there. Were you ever hesitant, or was it like, let's go? No. When you're like that's where choices like people we all have to respect each other. Everyone's choices in life.
Listen to what she's saying.
You never know where someone's coming from. I don't like everyone. They're making choices for a reason. Yeah. And they're all. It's very important we all respect the choices we all make because some people can't relate, some people can. I'm very proud of the choice I made. Definitely. No, I mean,
she's talking about the proud of the choice that she made when Hefner offered her to be his girlfriend. She said she was not hesitant. Y'all heard that? She was proud of the choice she made.
Is there anything that you really miss about those days? No. That's looking into think about college or something. Like, okay, you had a good time, but you're here now. I don't really think about it. No, I'd rather go grocery shopping for my next recipe for my kids. I'd rather. I'm such a nerd now. Like, I forget that I was in Playboy. I forget it. I forget everything. Other than if someone brings it up, or it's a part of the narrative. Yeah, no. I'm sure it feels like a basic house mom. Like, am I a normal world? Like, I'm a basic mom. Like, I'm grocery shopping. I'm wearing sweat. Like, I'm wearing socks. Like, I know where someone's coming from. I don't like everyone. They're making choices for a reason. And they're all. It's very important. We all respect the choices we all make because some people can't relate. Some people can. I really, I'm very proud. I'm very proud of the choice I made.
Everybody's different, and she's correct. However, you noticed in that she was talking about the choices she made. She was proud of it, and she didn't, I guess, like going back, over something and looking at something that happened when she was younger versus now. She's like, that was then, this is now. I'm looking at this and, again, you look at the years and dates that I put up. These women were there for it was years. Computer Robot says, Gavin, I think they're eventually going to name the white supremacist or a white supremacist who orchestrated the strings to do a hit piece documentary on Bill Cosby. Oh, no doubt. Let me say this. The names have already been dropped, or allegedly, I should say. The people involved, the suspects involved are in there. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, you need to go to that Facebook page that I have at Commonwealth Cause and look at and like the page that promotes our latest book, The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., The Destruction of Due Process in the United States, which will be available on Amazon on Kindle and paperback format. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the final process, I should say, of putting some drafts of the last drafts on this, ladies and gentlemen. So you all need to check this out. This is the book where you can get it. So this is the only place you can find out on getting updates about when the book will be released or any news and topics. Because I'm gonna certainly be doing another live stream when that docu-series airs Sunday. I'm actually gonna watch it. And people have been calling out W. Kamau Bell for the video for doing this docu-series. I saw CBS actually had him come on and talk about Cosby's complicated legacy, but yet this is the same CBS in the morning that sat with Charlie Rose that was accused of sexual misconduct, and you were led by Les Moonves, who was the head of CBS Viacom for a number of years and was accused of sexual misconduct, and they did nothing to him. No, those women didn't get any money. But you got to go to the Facebook page, like it, so we can talk more. But I'm going to be doing a review of We Need to Talk About Cosby. I'm going to do a review on it. So I want you all to pay attention. Why? For that reason, I'm going to watch it. Just for that. Not because I support and endorse it, but I have a feeling already. I already know the direction it's going. And my understanding, and even in an article, they said if you're looking for, there was an article, I believe, that was posted that said that if you're looking for, I don't want to misquote, but they were basically talking about new Bill Cosby documentary trailer suggests a lot of people knew. The new Bill Cosby documentary, We Need to Talk About Cosby, refuses to make a case against him. I don't see how I can say it fails to make a case against him. The trailer is clearly, I can look at the individuals who have said nothing but negative things about Cosby, and it's completely been one-sided. Can you separate the art from the artist? Well, here's what I know. I interviewed Tom Mesereau. I spoke with Tom recently. Tom was interviewed by W. Kamau Bell. He said he was spitting strong facts about the case, defending Mr. Cosby, and Bell did not like what he had to say. That's enough for me. That's enough for me, ladies and gentlemen. But I need you all, I'm going to do a review on it. But in the meantime, we're going to go ahead, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go ahead and close out. I want you all to go and pick up some Narnies Creole Blends. That's NarniesCreoleBlends.com. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want some good old Creole seasoning, try it on chicken, meat, or fish. Narnies goes great with every dish. Go ahead and check that out, ladies and gentlemen. Also, I need you to go to our music page, get Video Soul. Of course, you can't get it through there, but if you go to Spotify, you can start streaming songs such as Video Soul, and got to get on up to have the whole collection there. I know it's just 2 songs, but I'm working on new songs as we speak, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, Video Soul is our latest. You can also buy it on iTunes Store and on Amazon. Of course, we got my theme song, Got to Get On Up. Thank you to all in the chat. I ask you, please, if you would, bless me with a donation if you can at the Cash App, Gavin Richard Esquire. Gavin Richard Esquire. You see the ticker at the bottom of the Google Pay and PayPal. If you're also interested in advertising with the channel, please email me at gavin.ruiz1@gmail.com for rates. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get up on here, get on up. Yeah, Black Voltron, I saw Godfrey was in it. It's a shame. Godfrey, I think, was speaking. I didn't listen to his interview, but he was speaking with hip hop, talking about it. He had been talking. What's funny is that I noticed that a lot of the people who have talked negatively about Bill Cosby or said something as to his guilt, most of them are saying had some type of personal relationship with him in some way, shape, or form, and the relationship went sour somewhere down the line. Godfrey was my understanding, his opening act on his CBS comedy show. So I'm surprised Godfrey is saying he saw all women around him. Well, if you saw women around him, okay, how does that relate to sexual assault? If you have women around you, I'm sure just like Marvin, he had women around him just like the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Elvis, Frank Sinatra, the Rat Pack, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., Nat King Cole. It's not uncommon. Or the NFL and NBA athletes. That's not uncommon. But we're going to get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. That's been it for today's show. I will see you all on Thursday. I will be on with our brother Sean James and maybe another guest as we navigate the craziness that is Random Topic Thursdays. This is Channel GB2786. I'm Gavin Richard with Gavin Richard Presents. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll holla. Peace.
Girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat, because on the dance floor is where we'll meet. Show me what you got. Gotta feel the groove.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on Earth, Wind, and Fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop or do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really grooving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the
Now, 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you breathe and you achieve. And so, if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll meet.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up
and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor.
Get on up, baby. Yeah, gotta get on up. Come on, baby, gotta get on up, baby.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Good night and Godspeed. Except you, Gregory Abbott, you piece of